Hey guys, and how's it going? I returned to Jason's 5150 MX VW's house to pick up the parts car that went around, actually came with the 56 Oval. This is a 55. And again, it's more of a parts car for all the pieces that are missing on the other car. Except the little baby window in the back, which is highly desired. Well, anyway, while we're here, he has another Beetle that he picked up that's been sitting, I think, like 30 years. Hasn't run, and we're going to try to do a wheel it run on that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, please. So this is Jason 5150 MX VW, as I said, and he grabbed this. How long did you get it?
A couple months ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year is it?
This is a 65, no dash vent, so 65.
And what was the story behind it?
This one was brought back from Arizona. It's been sitting in the basement of this old house since I think late 80s, early 90s, so at least 30 years.
Okay.
And it was covered in dust. And
was it running when it was put away, or?
I don't know if I remember if he said he drove it in there or not. If the old ran when parked.
So it may or may not have issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's been sitting a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was all. That's clean too. I
probably
vacuumed that all out.
You said you got a clip of it?
I do. Yeah, I'll send you with the clip of me pulling it out.
Okay, I probably add it to this video. You guys can see how he found it, and we can continue on from there. All right, so we're gonna go push it over by the garage, where it's a little bit better weather-wise, but it's still gonna work outside. I couldn't come over here and work indoors. You know?
There's no snow. I mean.
So we're gonna get that over there. We're gonna see what we can do. See what it takes to bring it back to life. Seats look comfortable. It's hard to drive like that, isn't it? You have a key for it?
Yeah, check the key switch.
Well, that should just come back, no problem. You have a screwdriver for the ignition switch? So does that dog bark so often that you just get used to it, you don't even hear it anymore?
That's the yelp. That's just the howler, the hound. That one doesn't bother me as much as the yapper.
So this is a rust-free Southern car?
Arizona, baby.
Yeah. The dry heat. Well, first things first, is it in neutral or?
Yeah.
Not that it's gonna stop me really. Ooh, that sounded good. You know what it is? I think there's crap in the fan trap.
Maybe.
I can tell you there's rust in the fan trap. Oh, she's full. She's full of all kind of goodies. You may have to do it, just take that belt off. We'll see what happens when we spin it. See if we can shoot any mice out on fire. So the ignition switch is, I don't think, long for this world. So we're just going to go right to the starter, hopefully, and see if we can put a jump switch on it and see if we can crank it. See if the starter's any good too. But we're going to jack it up and see if we can get this tire off, and right behind, right about there, in about 18-20 inches is where the starter is. Yeah, we want to get power from How often has you used this?
Never.
I gotta get it out of there. I can't get it opened up.
It's better than the time you tried to weld with my new helmet and I forgot to take the
You didn't have the
film.
Yeah. Grab a pair of pliers and get that out. I gotta get it up over that stud. So the starter has power coming right from the battery, which in this case is holding on by that. In other words, it doesn't. But there's a little signal wire that comes from the ignition switch, and it needs to get 12 volts to it too to be able to crank. And then the big post, so you essentially you just take a screwdriver and you're crossing those two posts. If you do that and you got power going to it, it should crank. if the starter's any good, but we're gonna go find that out pretty soon, I guess. So now we gotta get power to it. We got a little wire that goes up to the voltage regulator. We might be able to jump on that with the jumper pack. Let's go see. If not, we gotta get the jumper pack on this big one on the starter. So it's got an aftermarket voltage regulator on it, which is this right here. And whatever this assembly is. And somewhere in here, this is that big heavy red wire that is going down to the starter. I'm gonna try putting power to that if I can find the other end of that, where that's going. Possibly we could jump in, whatever's gonna be easier for us, either that or just trying to get right on that starter. And that is going right to our voltage regulator, to our alternator rather. So I'm gonna try making sure that's where it goes first. Power. Is there an opening in this somewhere? I see some tape right here. Maybe we could open that up. We'll just put the jumper pack right on there. This wire, I took that tape off. This wire's been kind of hacked anyway. Somebody's sliced into it. So we're just going to help it a little. Remember, always cut towards yourself. Let's see if I can expose a little bit more wire on that. Peel that back. And that should be a good spot, hopefully, to connect power to that starter. You're waiting for me to cut myself, aren't you? Alright, so I'm going to go pick away at that for a second. We'll get the power on it. Let's see if we can get some 12 volt on this, and this car has already been switched over to 12 volts. I was going to ask. A 65 would be 6 volt. But this is looks like a later engine. It's a dual port 1600. So, and now we got to find some place that actually we can get a ground on that will make ground. I'm gonna try the. Let's go try the pickup tube for the. And if I grab that button wherever I left it. I'll give that a little. You get, oh yeah. All right, good. I'm gonna dump a little bit of oil down the side of the carb, just so that kind of washes into the cylinders, because it's dry and been very dry for a long time. So he gave me a funnel. So we don't need no stinking funnel. See how much of a mess I make. We're actually just gonna give a liberal, good amount of that. I'm going to try to spin it over right now, and hopefully it kind of goes into the 4 cylinders. The car is pretty level, so see what we get. It's blowing rust out of the and mouse nest and everything else. It's saying, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. A mouse just peeked out of there and ran back in. He's not going to be happy for pretty soon. All right, we got it so it'll turn. Let's pop the distributor cap off. I'm sure those points are in definitely need of some love, and get them cleaned up so you can get spark back. One good idea might have been just to make sure it's got something in the crankcase. It does. She's dirty. Ooh, she's muddy. It's up to you. Run it with it, you can change it. It's up to you. Yeah, we're running with it?
Yeah.
Alright. His car. Let's go pop that cap off. See what's in store for us in here. Oh, they're white. They're white. Where's my hair? I'll get you in there, hold on. Yeah, they're a tad on the corroded side. That does not have sparks. So I'm gonna go take a little piece of emery paper, do my best to clean that up, and we're gonna go run power over to the coil after I get that cleaned up, and we'll see if it decides to spark for us. Well, that is not gonna do it. Yeah, that is definitely a tad on the corroded side. We have to take them right out of there and clean them up. See what happens. Yeah, that's one swipe. I think I'm gonna go try popping those right out of there and we'll clean them up out of the car. They're just too nasty. Yeah, I could kind of see them a little bit better. That's the nastiness that was on them. I'm gonna do my best to make it so those two pieces of metal are shiny. I gotta take a meter. I'll go across it with a meter just to make sure that we're getting contact before I even bother putting them in. But I'm gonna work on that for a few seconds. Blow them off a little bit of carb cleaner. That's right there. All right, let's go pick your head up a little bit. So I want to go make sure these points are doing an open and closed circuit. So I'm looking for ohms, which is just seeing a pathway. I'll make sure you get the meter in there. It's be upside down, but you can see it. How about that? So you touch them together, go to zeros, and then the same thing on the points. I'm going to grab the wire on one side, and then anywhere on, so this is tied to this part of the points. So I want to make it so that I touch the body of the points. And it should go to zero. It's not. Still got some contamination. And when it opens up, it should just go open loop and then close. It should go to zero. That's still high. That's meg. That's a very high number still. So that's still no good. I bet you if I wiggle them around a little bit, I'll be able to get it. Like that. But it needs to be able, every time the cam on a distributor goes around and those points open and close, every time that has to go to zero. It's not. It's still going to meg, so it's still got dirt. It needs to be cleaned out. And round two, let's go try it again. It doesn't matter, red or black, doesn't matter which one goes on which as far as resistance is concerned. And what are we getting? Zero? Good. Open and close it a couple times. Open. That's better. That's what we're looking for. Without that working, you're not getting spark. That's the on-off signal. And we now have an on-off signal. I'm gonna go throw those back in the distributor and kind of eyeball them for 16 thou. Normally I have a little screw holder that kind of holds the screw. There's a joke there somewhere. But so I just started them in the points. I'm gonna try to drop it down to the hole and catch it. They don't drop it. And then the ass end of the points will have a hole that it falls into. Right there we go. And I gotta get it so that the cam, there's 4 lobes on the cam of that. So I gotta rotate that where it lines up with the little tab. Right about there. And then on the back side, there's a little window that you can stick a screwdriver in, you can open and close. I'm gonna say right about there. Looks good to me. And then I'm gonna open and close the motor. You'll see it hopefully close. There, it's closed. And then opened again. I could say that's about 17 thou, but that's about close enough. I'm gonna actually go and put my meter on it one more time. Make sure that that closes. I'll just do that off camera. I'm gonna make sure that it still goes to zero while it's in there. Wow, that is like that.
Want to film it anyway?
Oh, you can.
It's a lot easier just when you got somebody filming you work.
Yeah. So right now it's open. Let's go grab that wire. And then anywhere on the car, you can touch it, the block of the distributor. It should ground out. And it is saying K. We're in the K. It could be the crap that's on the outside of that too, though. Let me run that through a cycle. Should open up, and it did. And it should close. Should go to zero. Yeah, it's fighting us a little bit still. I'm gonna see if I tap it. See how it went to zero. I'm gonna probably just hit it with the sandpaper a little bit more, just so we get a constant on-off signal. rightfully probably should have just changed them out. But
I have some.
But we want to get it running with not putting any parts in it. Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Or try to anyway. I don't know about the original gas. That might be pushing our luck. But.
We'll just have Josh try to drive it first.
Alright, there should be closed. That's better. I'm going to rotate it, open it, and close it one more time. Open, closed, good. There's already grease on the cam. And again, this isn't getting serviced. We're ready to go rock down the road. We're trying to get it to run. But there needs to be some grease on that cam in the center, else it'll burn the little tab up on the points. All right, I think we can go put our cap and rotor back on. And probably pull a plug wire. And we'll put power to the coil. And we'll see if it sparks for us. We're not going to move the distributor. You figure it was probably running the way it was, so there should be no reason for us to. Come on out. And if not, we have a bad coil, or we could have a bad condenser. That's pretty much everything that's in the circuit. I'm going to take a little jumper wire. We even use red. Imagine that. So I'm going to steal power from the jumper pack. Let me get rid of my knot. And run power from there to the hot side of the coil. Actually, we have a wire. We have no wire on the coil. Yeah, it's hidden in the back. It's black. It's hard to see. We need a wire coming from the condenser running up, and this will be the points side. This side is the point side because that's the side the wire is coming from the condenser. So this side needs 12 volts. I'm going to put 12 volts on it. Right there. I have no ground hooked up yet. And we're going to pull a plug wire. Try to. And we'll just stick a... You get another spark plug?
Yep.
Alright, we'll put another plug on it and we'll see if that sparks for us.
Up some of the angles and such.
Where did the... I'm going to go hit that start button. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but we just threw a... We didn't take a plug out of it. We just took another spark plug and threw it in there. And give that a crank over, see if it sparks for us. I saw one. Alright, guys. I wouldn't exactly say great spark, but it has spark. Yeah. So that condenser may be a little on the iffy side, and the same thing with that coil. But let's give it a shot. We're gonna go start running some fuel down it, and we got a bunch of oil. It's gonna fight us a little bit, but
the ting,
ding. We're just gonna, is that choke even open? The choke is frozen shut. It's been a day or two. That's been closed. I think that carb might need a there's the throttle. A little bit of love. Alright, let's just give her, see if she does anything. That's that gas with 2-stroke mix in it. See if she does. See if she shoots anything on fire out of the tailpipes.
First start. There's only one.
You good? You rolling?
Yep.
It's red. There's a little red thing in the corner saying it's filming. Put some in the carburetor too. Not that it's going to do anything, but a little dousing. Wherever the button is. Here it is. Should get my privates out of the way of the exhaust.
Yeah!
Keep the goer.
Holy
mouse. A
mouse.
little more in her.
Holy mouse.
Yeah, that ought to make them a little on the nervous side. Try it again. Here it is. I just ran. Right there. Went out the hole out the back. He's looking for a new house.
Oh man.
I'm sure there's more. It might be more.
Yeah.
Jumper pack's about done. There he goes.
There he goes.
He's out of here. Time for a new home.
The little guy. Oh. Come on.
Come on, baby. I think my jumper packs had it though. Come on, baby. Your jumper pack got a better charge in it? I'm just gonna switch over to that. Start to cool down a little bit. All right, new jumper pack. So we gotta put power to the coil. There somewhere. Yeah. Keep it out of the fan. See if it spins it a little bit better than what mine was doing. Actually, we need a little bit of fuel. How about a little bit of fuel? A little bit of some of that. It's like a cook, a chef.
Sous chef.
Got nothing. Gotta turn it on, that's why. Your pack is deader than mine. What's that? Really cranking it slow up. Yeah.
Did you expect anything?
Now you're down to 12.0. Yeah, you want about 12.7, 13 should be a full pack.
What if we just plug it in? Can we just plug it in?
I don't know.
Yeah, try it with mine. I'd hate to.
Smoke comes out of yours.
Yeah, I'd hate to.
Let's let it set up for a bit. We'll turn this off. You'll take a break. We'll just let that kind of charge up for a little while. I'd say it's about, I don't know, a half hour later. We've got my jumper pack charge up. It's probably the closest one to having to charge. I had used it to winch up the car in the back of the trailer, so that's why mine was half dead. What's your excuse? Yeah.
Yeah.
Try her again. So yeah, I want to keep our little fuel bottle handy. Hopefully we can kind of run it off of that. Contact. You could give her a little bit of throttle, maybe. I am covered with crap.
You're not allowed in the house.
Yeah, a little better. Awesome. I think it'll slowly creep into the house.
For sure.
Wife's not home, right?
No.
We're kind of running out of daylight. Let's go see if we can give her one more. Yahoo, let's see if she'll go. go call that for a win.
Wow.
Little fireworks in the middle of that too. That was awesome. Yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill would not be.
With his finger on fire. Well, guys, she done sputtered out a little bit of debris from the cracks and crevices. I think we're gonna go call it on this one. Normally, next thing would be go pull that carb, get all that cleaned up, and feed it off of a jerry can. But I'm about out of battery on my camera, and we're about out of light working here. A little bit of an oil leak. Not bad though. I don't see anything really. Didn't sound noisy. Sound like I was running all four, so got a decent engine to it. Well, guys, with that, we'll make this one short and sweet. Sign off. Well, thank all you for hanging out, and I think MX 5150 MX VW, sorry, will continue to move forward on this car and have a driving video up in another day or two, I would say.
He's a runner.
All right.
They all run.
All right, with that, guys, thanks for hanging out. See you soon.